Self-sabotage is a phenomenon that many face, but few truly understand its roots. To unravel this mystery, we need to look within, more specifically at Carl Jung's theory of the shadow. Jung, one of the pioneers of analytical psychology, believed that the human psyche is divided into various parts, including the conscious and the unconscious. The shadow is the unconscious portion where we store everything we prefer not to see in ourselves, characteristics, desires, and emotions that we deem unacceptable. The intriguing question is, how do these ignored aspects influence our actions, leading us to sabotage our own intentions? Often, what we interpret as illogical decisions or harmful behaviors are, in fact, expressions of these hidden parts, which find subtle ways to emerge and control our attitudes. In this video, we will explore how Jung's theory of the shadow can shed light on self-sabotage, offering a way to understand and integrate these repressed parts. By the end, you will have tools to transform your understanding of yourself and thus gain greater personal freedom. Prepare for an introspective journey that will bring profound insights and practical solutions to overcome these self-destructive cycles. To understand how self-sabotage connects to the theory of the shadow, it is essential to first comprehend who Carl Jung was and what he proposed. Jung was a renowned Swiss psychiatrist and psychotherapist who became one of the pillars of modern psychology. His approach differed from Freud's traditional psychoanalysis by emphasizing the complexity of the human mind and its potential for growth. Jung developed concepts such as archetypes, the collective unconscious, and of course the shadow, which is the focus of this video. According to Jung, the shadow represents all aspects of the personality that we repress or deny, whether due to social influence, upbringing, or self-criticism. These traits can include anything from impulses considered morally unacceptable to deep insecurities and fears. While many believe the shadow is composed solely of negative traits, Jung argued that it can also contain underestimated or forgotten qualities and talents. But why is this part of the mind important? The shadow doesn't remain harmless within our psyche. On the contrary, it seeks expression and often finds ways to emerge through sabotaging behaviors. What we consciously avoid tends to manifest unconsciously, and this is where the connection to self-sabotage lies. By bringing the shadow into the light of consciousness, we begin to notice how it interferes in our lives. We can recognize patterns that once seemed irrational and start working on integrating these repressed parts. This integration is the first step toward transforming self-sabotaging behaviors into conscious actions that align with our goals and values. Now that we understand what the shadow is and its relevance to the psyche, it's time to explore how it directly relates to self-sabotage. The shadow, as part of the unconscious, does not disappear when we ignore it. It continues to influence our thoughts and actions in a disguised manner. These repressed traits find ways to express themselves, often in ways that prevent us from achieving our goals and living fully. Self-sabotage can be seen as the practical manifestation of the shadow. Think, for example, of situations where you procrastinate on an important project, even knowing the need to complete it. Or those times when you feel unable to advance in your career due to an undefined fear. These behaviors may seem irrational at first, but they are a way in which the shadow expresses itself. The fear of failure is a classic example of self-sabotage, but the fear of success can be just as powerful. The latter may stem from deep insecurities or ingrained beliefs, such as a sense of unworthiness. When the shadow contains feelings of inadequacy or past traumas related to recognition and achievement, it can interfere, causing a person to unconsciously sabotage opportunities. Another example occurs in personal relationships, where repetitive patterns of jealousy, distrust, or excessive self-sufficiency end up undermining connections. These behaviors are often fueled by traits of the shadow, such as fear of rejection or a need for control, which have been repressed and eventually express themselves in harmful ways. Therefore, the key to overcoming self-sabotage is bringing the shadow into consciousness. When we begin to recognize these manifestations and understand their origins, we can work on integrating them in a healthy way. This means allowing hidden emotions and impulses to exist, but without letting them dominate or sabotage our actions. Identifying the shadow is a crucial step in understanding and transforming self-sabotaging behaviors. This requires a dose of introspection and a willingness to confront aspects of oneself that have been ignored or repressed for a long time. But how exactly can we recognize our shadow? One of the most effective ways to identify the shadow is by paying attention to automatic behaviors and reactions, especially those that are disproportionate to the situation. For example, if you feel intensely angry at criticism, this might point to a repressed insecurity about not being good enough. These signs indicate that something in the unconscious is seeking expression. Practices like journaling are extremely helpful for exploring the shadow. Writing about moments when you felt strong emotions, such as anger, shame, or fear, can help uncover hidden patterns. Ask yourself, why did this situation bother me so much? And what thoughts arose when this happened? The answers may reveal parts of the shadow you hadn't recognized before. Another valuable tool is dream analysis. Jung believed that dreams are a gateway to the unconscious, where the shadow often manifests. Paying attention to symbolic elements and dream figures can provide clues about the repressed aspects that are asking for attention. Writing down dreams and reflecting on them with a curious, non-judgmental eye can be revealing. Additionally, observing repetitive behaviors that do not bring positive results is a practical way to recognize the shadow. If you notice that you are always drawn to situations that end in frustration or repeat patterns that cause suffering, this may indicate that unintegrated aspects of your shadow are influencing your choices. With these practices, recognizing the shadow becomes an ongoing process of self-discovery, allowing you to begin working on integrating and transforming these repressed parts. Integrating the shadow does not mean eliminating or denying it, but rather recognizing and accepting it as part of who we are. This process of integration is key to overcoming self-sabotage, as it allows the unconscious forces that control us to be brought into consciousness and transformed in a constructive way. Here are some effective strategies to begin this work. The first and most important step is self-acceptance. Instead of fighting against repressed emotions and traits, it is necessary to accept them without judgment. This can be challenging, especially when it comes to negative feelings like anger or shame. However, by stopping the denial of these aspects of yourself, you begin to release their energy and prevent them from manifesting in sabotaging ways. A practice of mindfulness or meditation can be helpful in this process, as it helps maintain an attitude of acceptance toward your own thoughts and emotions. Another essential technique is constant self-reflection through practices such as journaling. Writing about your reactions and feelings provides a space to question the underlying causes of these behaviors. By analyzing what lies behind your self-sabotaging actions, you can identify thought patterns and limiting beliefs. For example, if you notice that you often sabotage yourself in situations of success, it may be a sign that there is an underlying belief of unworthiness or fear of rejection that needs to be addressed. Additionally, working with a therapist specialized in analytical psychology can significantly accelerate the shadow integration process. Therapy offers a safe space to explore the depths of the unconscious and work with the more difficult parts of the psyche. The psychotherapist can help illuminate these shadowy areas, offering techniques and guidance that would not be as easily accessible without professional support. Finally, the practice of forgiveness is one of the keys to shadow integration. This involves forgiving yourself for having repressed or denied certain parts of your personality. By freeing yourself from guilt and shame, you allow these aspects to integrate in a healthier way, transforming them into forces for growth and self-understanding. These strategies are not quick fixes, but with dedication and consistent practice, they can profoundly transform your relationship with self-sabotage, allowing you to act in a more conscious and aligned way with your goals. Shadow integration is not a simple process, but its benefits are deep and lasting. By engaging in this work of self-knowledge and transformation, you not only overcome self-sabotage, but also begin to live in a more authentic and balanced way. The shadow, when recognized and accepted, transforms from a destructive force into a powerful ally in the process of personal growth. One of the greatest benefits of integrating the shadow is authenticity. By accepting parts of yourself that were once repressed or ignored, you become more true to yourself and others. This brings a sense of inner peace, as you no longer need to hide or deny important aspects of your personality. The result is a life more aligned with your values and true desires. Furthermore, shadow integration strengthens self-esteem. When you allow yourself to be who you truly are, without judging or feeling ashamed of your imperfect aspects, you begin to cultivate a healthier relationship with yourself. Accepting the shadowy parts of yourself does not diminish your worth. On the contrary, it reveals the complexity and depth of the human being, providing a sense of pride and confidence in your ability to evolve. The final reflection is this: by facing the darkest parts of our psyche, we become more whole, more capable of acting with freedom and alignment, and most importantly, more human.